Welcome everyone to Whimsy Woven Stories. Here, we explore gripping tales of real-life twists. Join our storytelling community.
Carson, 34, grease monkey by trade, auto shop owner by hustle, not rolling in yachts or anything, but I do all right. Paid off my tools, got a fridge full of beer, and I've only threatened to torch the place twice this year. So, thriving my wife, Natalie, 29, dental hygienist, queen of floss and judgmental smiles. She and I have been together for years, married for 8 months, which, for those doing math at home, means we were smart enough to test drive this marriage thing before signing the lease. Things were normal, as a married couple normal. Talking about kids, maybe upgrading from our 2-bedroom sardine. Came to something that doesn't echo when you cough. Nothing crazy. No red flags, unless you count her inability to stack Tupperware lids correctly. So last Tuesday, I'm helping her organize her laptop. And by helping, I mean saving her. Digital life from total collapse. This woman's desktop looks like a game of Minesweeper had a baby with a tornado. I offered to sort through her tax folders while she made dinner, which, for the record, was chicken she seasoned with love and baked into submission. Anyway, I'm knee-deep in folders labeled things like taxes 2024 maybe and do not open when I click on this one that says personal stuff. Now, in my defense, if you don't want people opening it, maybe don't label it like a teenage diary. Boom, ultrasound pictures, multiple ones, dated 2 weeks ago. At first, I'm frozen. Like, maybe I opened the wrong folder and ended up in someone else's uterus. But no, there it is. Grainy, black and white baby blob with medical scribbles and Natalie's name in the corner. And suddenly, my brain does this. Cartoon style, record scratch. She's pregnant, and hasn't told me. Now, I'm not the brightest bulb when I'm elbow deep in brake fluid, but I can count to 9. And this thing is recent, 2 weeks ago recent. So now I'm thinking, maybe she's planning a big reveal, like one of those gender reveal cakes that explodes glitter and confetti, and probably scorches your eyebrows off. Maybe she's waiting for the right time, like when I'm not covered in axle grease. We're yelling at a supplier over spark plug prices. So there I am, standing in the living room, clutching this laptop like it's the 10 Commandments. My heart's doing cartwheels. I start picturing telling my folks we'll be grandparents. My dad crying and pretending it's just allergies. My mom already knitting booties the size of couch pillows. I'm thinking, okay, we gotta turn the junk room into a nursery. Get one of those ridiculous strollers that looks like Mars rover. Hell, I'm already picturing a tiny Carson Jr. with my eyebrows and her dentist smile. I'll walk into the kitchen, probably grinning like a game show contestant who just guessed the price of the microwave correctly. She's standing by the stove, stirring whatever chicken mush she's torturing in a pot. She looks at me, sees the screen. Her face goes Casper. I mean white. Like cancel the cooking class white. That probably should have been my first clue. That something was a teensy bit off. But no naive, hopeful idiot that I am. I hold the laptop up like Rafiki with Simba. Babe, I say you're going to tell me we're having a baby, right? She blinks, opens her mouth, closes it, repeats. She's doing this fish out of water impression like she just forgot what words are. Then she sits at the table, puts her head in her hands like I just told her we lost the house in a poker game. And then she says it. I don't know how to tell you this, but you're not the father. I swear for a full 10 seconds. My brain refused to boot. Just hit me with the spinning wheel of death. Not the father. Not the father. I'm still standing there with a laptop. Ultrasound still up like an idiot, fatherless idiot. And she's just sitting there, talking like she's on Maury. And I'm thinking I was just getting excited about its Hayden, she said. At first, I thought maybe she meant Hayden Planetarium, or like Hayden the dog from next door. But no, she meant that Hayden. Her high school ex-mister, tank top and tattoos. The one who used to show up to football practice stoned and still outrun half the team. That Hayden. You ever have your stomach drop so fast it feels like gravity personally sucker punched you? That was me. Just stared at her, didn't blink, didn't breathe, felt like my brain was buffering on 2G. Hayden, I finally managed to croak. Voice cracking like a teenager ordering at a drive-thru. She nodded, all teary-eyed, like she was the victim in a Lifetime movie about how hard it is to cheat on your husband without consequences. He moved back a few months ago. He's working construction now. She said like she was giving me a Yelp review of the guy, currently ruining my life. We just started talking again, and one thing led to another. Yeah, right into his tool belt, apparently. So let me get this straight. My wife, my newlywed wife, is pregnant with another man's baby. Not just any guy, but Captain Backhoe himself, her high school sweetheart with a GED and biceps that do all his thinking. And she's been living in my house, sleeping in my bed, eating my lasagna, wearing my damn t-shirts to bed, while marinating in Hayden's DNA. Suddenly, everything started clicking. All those little things I brushed off, yeah, they weren't so little now. The healthy eating, that sudden war she declared on caffeine, the early bedtimes, and chronic, I'm just tired, babe. The weird text alerts at 11 p.m. followed by her flipping her phone over like she was defusing a bomb. Yeah, it turns out she wasn't tired, she was just busy. And, cherry on top, I helped her pick out that new phone plan. You want unlimited data, babe, go wild. Yeah, I basically sponsored her affair like it was a Kickstarter campaign. Here, let me finance your infidelity. Do you need hotspot tethering for when you're cheating at motels with bad Wi-Fi? I walked out. No jacket, no wallet, no plan. Just got in my truck and drove like I was being chased by my own stupidity. 2 hours of aimless cruising, screaming, internally stopping only once to yell at my steering wheel and scare the crap out of a guy walking his dog. The The whole time, I kept thinking there's got to be an explanation, right? Some twisted, rom-com worthy misunderstanding. But no plot. Twist, just betrayal with a hard hat and a six-pack. The moment I saw those ultrasound pictures, that tiny second of pure, dumb joy, it just looped in my head. I had been happy, already planning the nursery, thinking about announcing it at our next barbecue. Meanwhile, she was out playing guess who's the daddy behind my back. And the kicker, she looked more upset that I found out than about the whole baby daddy circus itself. Like I ruined her big reveal, like I should have. Waited for the PowerPoint presentation and gender-themed cupcakes before reacting. I was going to tell you, she mumbled at one point. Like that was supposed to fix anything. Oh great, you were going to schedule my heartbreak. Thanks for penciling me in between prenatal yoga and betrayal. And Hayden, don't get me started. The guy was a walking cliche even back in high school. Leather jacket in July, always borrowing other people's girlfriends and never returning them. I remember hearing stories back then, how he'd sweet-talk girls with that fake deep voice, make him feel special, get what he wanted, then vanish like Batman with a court date. Total player, classic smooth operator. The kind of guy who could charm the pants off a nun and then ghost her before she finished her rosary. Hell, he'd sweet. Talk them into bed and then ghost them. But apparently Natalie thought he'd changed. Because, yeah, nothing screams emotional maturity like a guy who ghosted half of junior year and probably thinks prenatal care is a shampoo. Some women really think they've got the magic touch, like they're Disney princesses sent down to Earth with a divine mission of fixing broken men. Oh, he cheated on his last 5 girlfriends and once punched a mailbox. But I can change him with the power of hogs and gluten-free muffins. So I finally pull into the driveway, and I'm just sitting there, engine off truck, humming like it's trying to warn me, staring at my house, the one I poured years into, the house with the leaky faucet I fixed myself, the house with the squeaky floorboard she always complained about. But now I guess Hayden's heavy ass work boots are welcome to stomp across it instead. I looked through the front window, and there she was, pacing around, like she was on trial and trying to memorize her closing argument. I could just see it, her mentally arranging words. Like emotional affair, connection, it just happened, you changed too. Probably throwing in a few, I never meant to hurt yous for dramatic flair. Honestly, she should have hired a PR rep at this point. Women are great at flipping the script. You catch them red-handed and somehow you're a bad guy, like she's gonna walk in sobbing about how I invaded her privacy by helping her with her taxes. Eventually, I got out. Sitting in my truck wasn't gonna solve anything. And if I stayed there any longer, I was either going to drive into a tree or start stress eating the seat cushions. Walking up to my front door, my own front door, felt like walking to the gallows. The life I thought I had dead, buried. All that was left was the ghost of domestic bliss and the faint smell of betrayal. I opened the door. She looked up from the couch like she'd been caught trying to smuggle contraband into a courtroom. I was already glossy. Oh, the waterworks were primed and ready, Carson. I just listen, okay? It wasn't supposed to happen like this. Oh, thank God. That's always the best opener for an affair. Oop, my bad. We tripped and fell into a months-long deception. She goes on, said they ran into each other at Target, as if that place wasn't already dangerous enough with its overpriced candles and $300 impulse carts. Now it's doubling as a meet-cute hotspot for emotional train wrecks. We started talking, just catching up, she said, wiping tears like she was in an Oscar reel. And then one thing led to another. Yes, the classic cheating defense. One thing led to another. Funny how that phrase only gets used for affairs and catastrophic cooking accidents. So that's it, I asked. That's your explanation, you bumped carts and suddenly forgot you were married. She started crying harder, which, great, because nothing makes this easier than being guilt-tripped by the person who did the screwing. Then she dropped it, the line, the golden ticket to Gaslight Central. You don't understand, Carson. Hayden and I have history. Oh, do you now? History. Like this is the History Channel. And I'm watching a documentary on poor life choices. She sniffled. We have this connection. I've never had that with anyone else. And there it was, the moment where I was supposed to stop, clutch my chest and go. Oh, Natalie, of course. Forgive me for rudely existing while you pursue your soulmate in aisle 7 next to the frozen peas. We're married. I reminded her in case she forgot what the ring on her finger symbolized. You remember that, right? That thing with the vows and the witnesses and the legal paperwork. She nodded like a kid who just got caught drawing on the walls and swears they knew better. I know, but what Hayden and I have is different. Different, I repeated, nodding like a man who was about to walk straight into traffic. Then she hit me with this Hallmark Channel gem. When I'm with him, I feel like the person I was always meant to be. Oh, well then, forget the marriage. Forget the betrayal. Let's all just throw a damn parade for Hayden, the enlightener of women. I'm sure he knows who she's meant to be. Probably someone barefoot, pregnant, and making him protein shakes. This is where I started seeing red. She literally stood there and told me, dead serious, no blinking, that another man makes her feel more like herself than her own husband. Oh, well, excuse me, Natalie, I said, hands up like I was being mugged by delusion. My bad for not spiritually aligning with your true inner self. Maybe next time I'll consult a shaman before marrying someone. So I asked her plain and simple, what now? You want a divorce? You gotta go play house with Hayden and your new bundle of betrayal. Seemed like the logical next step, right? Since Hayden's apparently Mr. Everything. I mean, the man swings a hammer and suddenly he's husband material. She sniffled and said, Hayden wants to work things out. He says we never should have broken up back in high school. He's ready to be a father, husband. Of course he is. He's been back in town 5 minutes, knocked someone up, and now wants to cosplay stability. What's next? Matching Pinterest boards and joint TikTok accounts. That was it for me. Pack your crap and get out of my house. That's when the mask slipped. And oh, dead, the real Natalie come out swinging. She started yelling full banshee mode about how I couldn't just kick her out, how this was her home too. No, I said, this is my home. You know, the one I bought with my money before we got married. You didn't even pick out the damn shower curtain. Natalie, I pointed at the door. Your home is with Hayden now. Go decorate his garage with your inspirational quotes and avocado toast. She wouldn't stop screeching about how I was being unreasonable. You should try understanding my feelings, she shouted. Oh, sure, I said. Let me just shove my feelings down in a box so I can make more room for yours. You know, the ones you had while sleeping with another man. This is where it got truly impressive, even caught red-handed. Even standing in front of me with another man's baby kicking her kidneys, she still thought I was the problem. Like I should be sitting there, stroking her hair and saying, sure, it's okay. I know cheating is hard work. Then came the dagger. You know what, Carson? She snapped. Maybe this is for the best. Hayden is twice the man you'll ever be. He's passionate. He's exciting. He actually makes me feel wanted. Boom. There it was. The final review, 1 star. Not exciting enough. Apparently our marriage failed because I'm not Hayden. Didn't swing enough hammers. Didn't wear enough sleeveless shirts. Didn't make her feel like a free spirit with a construction fetish. I told her she had 24 hours. You've got until tomorrow to pack your stuff and get out. Take your magical connection and go make a vision board with Hayden. The next morning, she was gone. 2 suitcases in a full attitude. Left early. Probably didn't want to see me again in case I had more feelings she didn't want to understand. But before she left, she made sure to throw in one last dramatic line like she was exiting a soap opera. You'll regret this, Carson. Hayden's going to give me everything I ever wanted. Sure, Natalie. Like back problems and a half-built patio. And you know what's funny? She packed like she was going on a weekend. Girls trip. 2 suitcases for someone who's lived here over a year. Either she's terrible at packing, or she really thought this was temporary. Like I was going to stare at the empty closet, hear a sad Celine Dion song, and go sprinting after her barefoot in the rain yelling, come back. I miss being cheated on. But no, the house felt different immediately. The house was quiet. Not peaceful quiet, like a cabin in the woods or a cozy winter morning, but the eerie, heavy kind of quiet. Like the silence after a car crash when your ears are still ringing. The kind of quiet that makes your coffee taste like regret. I spent that first day just sitting in my own damn living room on my own damn couch, trying to process how my 8-month marriage had been nuked by nostalgia and Hayden's apparently irresistible biceps. My wife, correction, former wife in spirit if not yet on paper, was gone. Just up and out like a bad roommate who skipped rent. The woman I thought I'd grow old with, raise kids with, maybe finally get matching recliners with. Yeah, she chose to run off with her high school flame. Like this was a reboot of some trashy teen drama, and I was just the underwritten side character, the future I'd been planning freaked. Straight up gone up in smoke, like my hopes, dreams. And that one lasagna I left in the oven too long. And then her words came back to haunt me. Hayden is twice the man you'll ever be. Really, twice the man. Let's do the math. What kind of man sees a married woman and goes, you know what'd be fun? Imploding her life. What kind of man hears I'm married and thinks it's an invitation, not a boundary? What kind of man knocks up someone else's wife and then has the nerve to talk about working things out? That's not being a man. That's being a home-wrecking raccoon in a tool belt. Dude walks around stealing what doesn't belong to him like it's a Black Friday sale on integrity. Oh look, someone else's wife. I'll take that. And hey, tossing a baby too while we're at it. But the more I sat there with my lukewarm coffee and betrayal hangover, the more it started to hit me. She did me a damn favor. Seriously, if she could lie to my face for months, if she could wake up next to me, kiss me good morning, then go play footsie with Hayden in a parking lot somewhere. If she could plan to pass off someone else's baby as mine, what kind of future would that have been? We'd have ended up in couples counseling with me talking about trust issues while she doodled hearts around a name Hayden in her notebook. And let's be honest, if she needed passion and excitement that bad, what happens when Hayden starts snoring and leaves his socks on the floor? She'd be back on Tinder in 2 months, looking for someone who understands her journey. By the end of that day, I wasn't heartbroken anymore. I was pissed that I wasted 4 years on someone who treated me like a placeholder. Pissed that I let myself fall for someone who clearly had no business being anyone's wife. And mostly, I was pissed that she looked me in the eye, belly full of another man's baby, and still expected me to understand. Understand what exactly? That she accidentally tripped and fell into Hayden's arms, repeatedly. She wanted Hayden, great. She could have Hayden. But them build their little passion castle on the rubble of my trust. And good luck with all the drama that comes with it. He might be passionate, sure. But let's see how exciting he is when the morning sickness hits, or the baby's screaming at 3 a.m., and he's hiding in the garage pretending to fix a lawn chair. She thought Hayden was twice the man I am. Well, she was about to find out exactly what kind of man Hayden really is when life gets real. When the diapers hit the fan and the Instagram filters stop working. As for me, time to protect myself. Time to make sure I don't get dragged down with her mess. So I call my lawyer. Yep, Ron Jeremy. No relation. The other Ron Jeremy. Thank God. But man, do people raise their eyebrows when I say his name. He's helped me with business. Contracts before. Real no BS kind of guy. The man looks like a hitman and a part-time DJ who went to law school. If anyone could handle this disaster, it was Ron. I called him up and said, Ron, I've got a situation. How bad, he asked. Wife. Cheated. Baby ain't mine. She's gone. I need damage control. There was silence for a beat. Then, in his usual gruff, coffee-fueled voice, he said, drop everything. Get to my office. No, didn't even ask if I was free. Just full-on deaf. Con 1. When I walked in, Ron didn't even bother with small talk. No, how have you been? No, how's the shop? Not even coffee. He pointed at the chair like he was about to deliver a terminal diagnosis and said, Carson, first things first. You need to protect your assets immediately. The house, the business, my bank accounts. Hell, even the coffee machine. I wanted it all locked down tighter than Fort Knox after a bomb threat. Ron wasted no time. Since Natalie cheated and we had physical, fetal evidence of that fact, he said we could file for a fault-based divorce. Turns out being knocked up by someone else mid-marriage is frowned upon in the court system. Lucky me, that's the good news, Ron said, adjusting his tie. Like he was about to close a mob deal. It means she can't just walk off with half your stuff because she's bored and biologically generous. Finally, some justice. I brought up the car situation too. Natalie had been driving my Honda for over a year, my name on the loan, my wallet footing the insurance. She didn't even so much as pick the color. I said, can I get it back or what? Ron, ever the man of elegant legal solutions, leaned forward and said, she doesn't return. It voluntarily reported stolen. I blinked. Stolen? Like actual grand theft. Auto. It's your name, your car, your payments. If she took it and she's not living with you anymore. Yep, stolen. Man, I never thought I'd be in a situation where my lawyer encouraged me to call the cops on my wife. But here we are. If she wants to play happy family with Hayden, they can go Uber their way through life together. We spent the next 2 hours combing through everything I owned, and I mean everything. Furniture, accounts, tools, stocks, the damn shop, fridge. If I'd bought a pot holder before she moved in, Ron wanted it documented. Since you were only married 8 months, and she was cheating for at least 4, he said she's not entitled to much. She basically rented you the house, mine. Pre-marriage, the business, mine since forever. The furniture, mostly mine, except the throw pillows, which I never wanted in the first place. Turns out, keeping receipts and records wasn't just good bookkeeping. It was legal gold. I always thought my folder labeled important crap was a joke. No, turns out it was a divorce-proof fest. Then Ron brought up the prenup conversation. I groaned. Yeah, we never did one. I trusted her. Ron gave me that look, the one where someone pities you and judges you at the same time. That's what every guy says, he muttered, right before his wife screws him over. Awesome, just what I needed, legal advice with a side of I told you so. Lesson learned for next time. Assuming there ever is a next time. Right now, I'd rather marry a toaster. He told me to go home and change everything. Passwords, pins, account logins, Netflix, even the garage door code. Gosh, always hesitate with this part, he said, because they feel bad. I laughed. Oh, I'm past feeling bad, Ron. I'm ready to scrub her name off my tax returns with bleach. Ron nodded like a proud father. She didn't feel bad when she was cheating, he said. So why should you feel bad about protecting yourself? Exactly. So I went home, rolled up my sleeves, and got to work. Passwords changed. Bank accounts secured. Credit cards canceled. It was honestly kind of therapeutic, like a breakup montage in a revenge movie. Each time I hit update password, it felt like a middle finger made of numbers and special characters. Removed her from my auto insurance too. She'd been under my policy since she moved in, like some clingy bonus feature. Not anymore. No, she can figure that out with Hayden, Mr. Responsible Adult. Let him deal with the DMV and rate quotes. If he's really twice the man I am, he should be able to handle an insurance form without crying. That evening, my phone lit up like a Christmas tree, powered by rage. First, it was Natalie. Why did you change all the passwords? She texted. Because you don't live here anymore, I replied. Simple math. Then she hit me with, the insurance company says I'm not covered anymore. I told her, that's between you and Hayden now. He's such a great provider, right? Let him provide you with collision coverage. Then her best friend started texting me, Leanna. Now, Leanna works at the same dental office as Natalie. I always thought she was hot, but in that drives a BMW and smells like too much vanilla body spray kind of way. Dates a new guy every time the moon changes. Serial dater with a PhD in vague book posts. She was always in Natalie's ear, too. The kind of woman who thinks every relationship problem has one solution. The man just tries harder. So Leanna, the backup singer in Natalie's soap opera, decides to throw her opinion into the mix. She texts me out of nowhere, just full of righteous fury. What the hell is wrong with you? Natalie is pregnant and you're abandoning her. Great. Here we go. Apparently, I'm the villain in the tragic love story of Natalie and Hayden. The reboot. I texted her back calmly. Well, as calmly as you can when your blood pressure is high enough to power a generator. She's pregnant with another man's baby, Leanna. She left me for him. I'm not abandoning anyone. I'm just not financing her new life with her boyfriend. Pretty straightforward. Facts only, but no. Here comes the Leanna logic train barreling down the track. She made a mistake, Carson. But she's still your wife. You're being a total jerk. Yes, the classic mistake. Defense. Like, she forgot to pick up milk. Not like she rode shotgun on Hayden's Mattress Express and got herself a souvenir ultrasound. This is exactly what people mean when they say some folks treat cheating like a minor inconvenience. Like adultery is. Just a romantic sneeze you accidentally have on someone else's chest. No thanks. Block. She wants to support Natalie. Great. She can start by opening her wallet and putting Hayden's truck on her insurance. I'm done taking lectures from someone whose longest relationship is probably with her hair straightener. But the Real Entertainment came 3 days later. I'm in the middle of work at the shop, up to my elbows in brake fluid and common sense. When guess who walks in? Natalie, in full distressed damsel mode. Carson, can we talk privately? She says, all soft-spoken like she's auditioning for forgiveness. I wipe my hands, already bracing for the nonsense, and we step into the office. The Honda won't start, she says. Hayden thinks it's the transmission. Could you take a look at it? I stared at her. She really stood in my place of business after cheating on me, asking for free labor on the car she took. When she left me for another guy, the audacity wasn't even shocking anymore. It was almost impressive. Like if shamelessness were an Olympic sport, she'd be on the podium waving a little flag with Hayden's face on it. No, I said, it plainly. The kind of no that doesn't leave room for interpretation or follow-up. She blinked. What do you mean, no? You're a mechanic. Oh, ho, that's rich. And you're a dental hygienist. I shot back. But I'm not asking you to clean my teeth for free, am I? She stared like the logic short-circuited her brain. I'm a business owner, Natalie. You're not a customer. Go ask Hayden. If he's so amazing, I'm sure he knows how to Google why my transmission is making that awful noise. She sighed. His truck's broken too. We can't afford to fix both, right? No. Oh, well then, so Mr. Twice, the Minim can't even keep his own truck running. I almost offered him a punch card. Fix 3 cars, get a free reality check. That sounds like a Hayden problem, I said. Not my circus, not my monkeys anymore. She started crying again, like we were rerunning the same dramatic episode on a loop. I get that. You're mad, she sniffled. But I still need help sometimes. We were together for years. There it was. Cue the history. Appeal. Like the time we spent together was a loyalty card she could cash in after torching the building. Yeah, you threw those 4 years away, I told her. You didn't trip and fall into Hayden's bed, Natalie. You climbed in, with both eyes open. So now you need help. Go ask your magical connection. If you can't handle basic car repairs or life responsibilities, maybe you picked the wrong guy to blow up your marriage for. She didn't say anything after that. She just turned around, face all crumpled up, shoulders slumped, and walked out of my shop. She left without saying anything else. My employees have seen me deal with difficult customers before. People trying to talk me down on a brake job, someone angry their check engine light didn't magically disappear because they prayed over the hood, but none of them had ever seen a cheating ex-wife show up begging for free car repairs. That was new, and in a small town like ours, news travels faster than a rumor in a high school hallway. By the end of the week, everybody and their grandma knew the full soap opera. Natalie left me for her high school sweetheart, got knocked up, and then came crawling back because their car life was falling apart faster than Hayden's work truck. Honestly, I should have sold t-shirts. Team Carson. Transmission of trust, broken. Most folks were supportive, saying I was better off. Some of them said it with that awkward tone like they were expecting me to be a sobbing mess binge watching sad movies and writing poetry in the garage. A few even gave me the "Are you okay?" look, like I was one casserole away from losing it. I was fine. I was better than fine. I was upgraded. My parents found out that Friday night. Dad called me after hearing it from someone at the bowling alley. That's how you know it's real in our town. News reaches the bowling alley, and it's basically gospel. Never trusted her. My dad grumbled right off the bat. Too high maintenance, like she thought she was marrying up by slumming it with us. Thanks, Dad. Real Hallmark energy. Mom was more emotional. She kept asking if I needed anything, offering to bring me meatloaf like I was on a hunger strike over heartbreak. You sure you're eating enough, sweetie? She asked. Yeah, Mom, I haven't been this hungry since I stopped paying for someone else's almond milk addiction. Then my brother Elliot called. Now he was the MVP of the family support squad. Good riddance, he said the second I picked up. Hayden did you a favor, took your problem off your hands. He always had a way with words, subtle as a crowbar. He even offered to go have a chat with Hayden, which, knowing Elliot, meant showing up uninvited with beer and bad intentions. Nah, I told him. Let Hayden enjoy the rewards of his choices without our help. He signed up for this disaster. He can read the terms and conditions on his own. And the truth, I felt lighter than I had in months. No more wondering why she was always too tired or at yoga when her phone location said not yoga. No more opening my banking app and discovering $60 missing from mystery skincare subscriptions. No more pretending like everything was okay when it was as stable as a Jenga tower in an earthquake. My house felt like mine again. I could walk around in boxers. Not feel judged for breathing too loud. My money, mine again. No more. Can I borrow your card real quick? Moments that somehow led to buying throw pillows that matched absolutely nothing. My life. Oh yeah, that felt like mine again too. She wanted Hayden so bad. Said he made her feel like the person she was meant to be. Well, now she gets to live that dream. With his busted truck, his empty wallet, and that special brand of emotional availability you only find in guys who think an oil change fixes a relationship. She thought the grass was greener. But staying with that man after he proves he's the kind of guy who kicks a pregnant woman out of his bed and life in the same day, that's a whole new tier of delusion. Leanna's probably thinking she won the prize. She just hasn't realized yet it's a prize from the clearance bin. Hayden's the type who gets bored as soon as real life kicks in. Bills, pregnancy, commitment. Nah, he's into the thrill, not the maintenance. Give it 6 weeks. She'll be crying to someone else at that dental office about how he's not who I thought he was. Shocking. That's when Elliot, ever the sentimental one, asked me if I felt bad for Natalie, said maybe I should reach out or something. You know, like I'm the ex-husband version of Mother Teresa. I said, let me explain something. Natalie didn't trip and fall into Hayden's bed. She chose it. She chose Hayden over me, told me with her whole chest that he was twice the man I'd ever be. She told me being with him made her feel alive in ways I never could. And now she's pregnant, alone, on her mom's couch. Those were all choices she made. Life is good. Now Leanna, she made her own bed, and then apparently let Hayden roll around in it. She decided that sleeping with her pregnant best friend's boyfriend was somehow a solid life choice. Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how that plays out. These are choices people made, not accidents, not hoopsies, choices. And just because those choices didn't land them in the fairy tale they imagined, doesn't mean I'm the guy with the mop. I'm not the cleanup crew for dumpster fire decisions. Everyone got exactly what they wanted, just not wrapped in the pretty little bow they pictured. Natalie, she wanted passion and excitement over boring old loyalty and stability. Cool, she got it. Now she's 7 months deep into her passion pregnancy and crashing on her mom's couch. Hayden, he just wanted to screw around with zero consequences. And now he's got a wake-up call that smells like diaper rash and court dates. Leanna, she wanted to snatch her best friend's man. Congrats, babe. You got a jobless walking red flag and probably an STD. Hope the trade-in value was worth it. And here's the best part. The absolute cherry on top of this messy Sunday. Leanna probably thought she was upgrading. Like, look at me, I bag Hayden. Queen behavior. No, girl. You just inherited a guy who cheats on pregnant women, lies for sport, and couldn't hold down a job if it was glued to his hands. So, yeah, sometimes karma just does its thing, and you don't even have to lift a finger. You just stand back, sip your coffee, and let people implode under the weight of their own bad decisions. And if you're lucky, your brother gives you a play-by-play while he's doing electrical work nearby. Then, because the universe apparently wasn't done yet, 2 days later I was closing up the shop when I saw someone waddling across the parking lot. Would you look at that? It was Natalie, 7 months pregnant and clearly feeling it. She looked tired. Not like long day. At work tired. More like life has been uppercutting me since July tired. Hair in a ponytail that gave up halfway through. Sweatpants that were hanging on to their last thread of dignity. This was not the same woman who left me talking about how Hayden was going to give her everything she ever wanted. Guess what he did? She got everything she wanted, just in the most miserable form possible. She thanked me for not driving off when I saw her walking up as if I was going to peel out of my own parking lot like a Scooby-Doo villain. I reminded her, you do realize this is my shop, right? Where exactly am I supposed to drive off to? The oil drum in the corner. She tried to laugh. It came out like a dying Roomba. So I said, what do you want, Natalie? No point dancing around it. Let's skip the pleasantries and jump right into the awkward. She sighed and looked at the pavement like it was going to give her a cue card. Then she said it. I know you probably heard about Hayden and Leanna. Small town. The gossip grapevine moves faster than a squirrel on espresso. Of course I heard. Yeah, I heard, I said. Calm, flat, no extra details. I wanted to see what version of the story she was going to tell. She paused again, like she was waiting for sympathy to materialize out of the air. Then she finally looked up and said it. I was so wrong about everything. Life is good. Hayden turned out to be exactly what I probably knew he was all along. Selfish, flannel-wearing, job-hopping jackass who bails the second life throws anything more complicated than a flat tire at him. No kidding, Natalie. Everyone except you saw that freight train coming from a mile away, horn blaring and smoke billowing. But hey, love is blind, right? Apparently also deaf, dumb, and legally blind in one eye. So there she was, standing in front of my shop, looking like she just crawled out of a Lifetime movie with bad lighting and worse decisions, trying to piece together whatever dignity she had left. I didn't say anything, just stood there, arms crossed, waiting for her to get to the point. Because I knew this wasn't a social drop-in to reminisce about the good old days of betrayal and transmission trouble. This was the preamble to a big, uncomfortable request. She finally said it, told me she knows she hurt me, said horrible things she can't take back. Shocker, but the crescendo. She's about to have a baby and has nowhere to go. Cue the tiny violins. Turns out even her mom is over the drama. She said the couch at her mom's place is temporary, and I quote, because her mom is already talking about her finding somewhere else to stay. Translation, even the woman who brought her into this world doesn't want to host the soap opera spin-off version of Natalie's life. So I asked, what about Liana? Weren't you two joined at the hip? Best friends forever, thick and thin, Monty Python and secrets? She sighed. Leanna chose Hayden over our friendship. Wow, what a twist. Shakespeare couldn't have written a mess this poetic. So now Leanna, the woman who once called me heartless, is shacked up with the same deadbeat who won't even chip in for diapers and made it crystal clear he wants nothing to do with his own kid. Smart move, I said. Really top-tier life strategy. Trading in your pregnant best friend for a human paperweight with a stubble problem. Bravo. And I meant it. Not the compliment, obviously, but the sarcasm. Leanna hitched her wagon to a dude who couldn't haul himself to a paycheck if you put it on a leash. So, Natalie, pregnant, abandoned, friendless, looks me dead in the eye and says she's not asking to be my wife again. But then, she said maybe we could work something out. She could stay in the spare room just until the baby comes. She'd pay rent when she goes back to work full-time. And I just stood there, staring at this woman who used to be my wife, 7 months. Pregnant with another man's baby, left in the dust by her lover, and betrayed by her best friend. Now standing in front of my shop, asking to move back into the house, she walked out of to be with a guy who, by her own words, was supposedly twice the man I'd ever be. The situation was so freaked up, it was almost funny, like dark comedy level funny. If it weren't my actual life, I'd be selling popcorn. I looked at her and said, "You told me Hayden made you feel alive in ways I never could. Remember that? You said he was passionate and exciting and everything. I wasn't. You chose him. You chose his baby over me, over us, over the house, the life we were building." And I remembered every damn word, like they were tattooed on my frontal lobe. She nodded, all quiet and sad, and said, "I know what I said." I was confused. I was stupid. I thought Hayden was something he wasn't. Translation. The thrill ride's over, and the roller coaster broke down in the middle of the loop. Now she wants her safety harness back. Then she says, "I realize now what we had was real and stable and good." Yeah, past tense was we had it. And you wrecked it like Hayden's transmission. So I told her you're right. It was real, stable, good. All the stuff you threw out, like expired yogurt when Mr. Excitement started texting you from a job site with his shirt off and half a GED. She said she's scared, doesn't know how she's going to manage being a single mom. No support system. Hayden won't even answer her calls anymore. And you know what? I didn't even flinch. That sounds like something you should have thought about before you decided to have his baby. Actions meet consequences. That's how grown-up life works. Then she hit me with, "Don't you feel anything for me at all? We were together for years, right? For years." She's trying to cash in our relationship. Like it's a punch card at a smoothie shop. I said I feel sorry, but not for you, for that baby. That poor kid's gonna have Hayden for a dad and you for a mom. That's a rough draft for life. Kid didn't choose any of this crap. That's when her face went from poor me, please help, to full-on villain origin story. The mask dropped and boom, there she was. Real Natalie. No makeup. No lies, just blame casting and hormonal rage. "Fine," she snapped. "You hate me. I get it. But this is your fault too. If you'd been a better husband, if you'd given me what I needed emotionally, none of this would have happened." And there it was, the golden buzzer of narcissism. Even desperate, pregnant, and couch surfing, she still couldn't say, "This is on me." So I said, "Oh, totally, I should have been psychic. I should have known exactly what you needed emotionally, telepathically. I should have intercepted the Hayden DMs with my mind powers and stopped you from climbing into bed with your ex and making a baby. That's totally my bad. I could have bottled the sarcasm and sold it at the counter." She huffed. "That's not what I meant." "Yeah, I said it is because responsibility isn't your thing. You don't own anything. It's always someone else's fault. My fault for not being good enough. Hayden's fault for not living up to your fantasy. Leanna's fault for dating the guy you cheated with, but never your fault, not once. For making the choices that led to this." I walked toward my truck, conversation over. She called out after me, asked where she was supposed to go, like I was her freaking guidance counselor. "I don't know," I said, "but it's not my problem anymore." And it wasn't. She wanted Hayden. She got Hayden. She wanted passion, excitement, butterflies, and the emotional equivalent of a roller coaster with no seatbelt. Well, congratulations. She got all of it. She just didn't like how the ride ended. That's not a tragedy. That's a Groupon horror story. That was the last time I saw her. I drove home to my quiet, peaceful house, made myself dinner. Steak, not sadness, and watched Top Gear reruns without someone asking me if I really needed that much salt. About an hour later, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I opened the text, and it started with, "This is Natalie's mom." Oh, here we go. Apparently, Natalie came home crying harder than she's ever seen in her life. And I should be ashamed of myself. Right? Because I'm the problem here. I blocked the number without even replying. I'm not interested in moral lessons from the woman who raised a grown adult that thinks cheating is a cute little detour on the way to finding herself. If she wanted me to be nicer, she should have raised a daughter who doesn't get knocked up by her ex and blame me for the fallout. Fast forward a couple months, small town grapevine never fails. Word gets around that Natalie had the baby. A girl, cute kid from what I heard. Can't help but feel bad for her. Born into a live-action soap opera with two people who shouldn't be trusted with a houseplant, let alone a human child. Natalie's living in a studio apartment now, working part-time at a different dental office. Scraping by, hating, oh. He shows up maybe once a month. Drops off half the child support he owes, and disappears like a magician with commitment issues. Leanna and Hayden broke up. No surprise there. Apparently, the guy who cheated on his pregnant girlfriend also cheats on the girl he cheated with. Who could have seen that one coming, besides literally everyone? For me, I'm doing just fine. Actually, more than fine. I'm dating someone new now. She pays her own bills. Doesn't ask. 4 keys to my place after 3 dates. And wild concept here, she thinks cheating isn't a character arc, it's a deal breaker. People ask sometimes if I feel bad for not helping Natalie when she was desperate. The answer, nope. I feel bad for that little girl. Sure, she didn't choose her parents, but Natalie, she made her choices and I made mine. You know what? The best revenge isn't some grand gesture or slamming doors or screaming matches in parking lots. Sometimes it's just refusing to be someone's plan B. It's letting them live with the disaster they picked. It's building a better life without them and letting them see what they gave up. Dear listeners, please share your thoughts in the comments section below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Welcome everyone to Whimsy Woven Stories. Here, we explore gripping tales of real-life twists. Join our storytelling community